Hi.
Hi. I'm gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Hello, cuties. Welcome to another episode of Brown Girl Unscripted. It's your girl Rucha. I'm your host, and in today's podcast episode, we have a very special guest. Her name is Ariana Nathani. She's the founder of Drinks First, a media company, a podcast, an events company. She's also been on Forbes. And welcome to Brown Girl Unscripted, Ariana.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yes. Okay, so to give you a little bit more about what Ariana does, she interviews people anonymously talking about dating culture, dating, especially in New York City, and hosts an event for people to meet one another. So Ariana, I'll let you take the stage. Tell us a little bit more about your journey with this. I know you started off with this as a dating podcast, but tell me more about what brought it to where it is today and why you love it so much.
Yeah, for sure. So I started the podcast about 6 years ago, which is crazy. Back in 2019, I just felt like I heard the same thing over and over again from my friends, which is dating sucks. It's so hard. There's no accountability. We hate the apps. And all of that is still true 6 years later. But at the time, I was like, okay, listening to a lot of dating podcasts. And I kind of was like, I feel like I have an idea. And I was kind of looking at what was wrong with dating, and it's very transactional, it's very quick on the apps, it's very visual, there's no accountability, you don't really feel like you know the person, and it's also, attraction doesn't really naturally work that way, right? When you're swiping on someone's profile, or a lot of people can build attraction to someone over time. So what I wanted to do was create more of a level playing field, which is where the idea came from, where we interview anonymous singles, we have our listeners match with them, and I wanted a podcast to feel like it had more utility. I started it when I was 22, so I didn't want to be some random 22-year-old with a mic. I wanted to provide some value to the people who were listening. So that's where the idea came from, and that was pre-COVID. Obviously, COVID happened, and everyone was forced online, which was its own thing. But we just kept building. I was making silly little videos on TikTok, and those were going well, and funneling back into the podcast. And I was recording remotely, and I just kept building and kept doing what I just love talking to people. And people love talking about dating, and it just kept getting more and more traction. And then in 2021, so 4 years ago, we, New York was opening a little bit post-COVID, and we had the opportunity to throw our first event. And that's really what opened up this entire world for us. Really opened up revenue streams. It opened up a whole new community of people, adding this in-person element, especially after COVID when people were really, really dying for it. It's only since taken off since then. People still want to meet in person. People are still tired of the dating apps. And so we've built this community of people who want to meet outside of existing channels, and they want a place to go and convene in a brand that they can trust. And I think we just started brand building early enough, and we're in the right space at the right time. And now we have multiple media streams. We still have the podcast. We throw multiple events every month, primarily in New York, but also globally and nationally. And so it's just become this much bigger thing that I never anticipated.
Yeah, oh my God, that sounds so fucking amazing. I bet that you've also observed so many different patterns when it comes to dating culture, how things have evolved from pre-COVID to during, from your guests, etc. I'd love to hear more about that from your perspective since you're hosting these conversations. So tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, so many things have changed, but also so many things are the same. I said, I started this when I was 22, so dating at 22 is so different now. I'm 28, so people's priorities have shifted, the way that people date have shifted, everything has changed, yet a lot of the qualms are still the same. I think a lot of people have problems with communication and being upfront about what they want and communicating that to the people that they're dating. I think a lot of people, just more and more of them, are getting tired of being online, meeting people online. They want to meet in person. that has always been the case. That desire will never go away, but I just see it increasing tenfold every year. And I think there's a lot of reasons for it. Not just, I think a large part is dating apps have changed a lot. Like, 10 years ago when they were first coming on the scene, I think they were really well intentioned about connecting people. Now these are massive businesses that own the business of love, right? Like, they do not necessarily have the end user in mind. When a dating app loses a customer, that means that person's probably no longer single. So it's a bad business model. It was never built to scale and make money the way that they're trying to now. And so people are exhausted. They're exhausted by the algorithm. They're exhausted by being on these apps for so many years. They're exhausted by being upsold something and feeling like a product. And so, I think that's where Drinks First really steps in, because we have no ulterior motive to keeping people from finding their person. We just try and create spaces in which it can happen. So, I think just a lot of the trends have been the same over the past couple of years, but it's just the desire has only increased.
Yeah, so the desire for in-person interactions and more of that natural trope that we've seen growing up, as opposed to just meeting someone online, is the biggest thing that's changed, you would say, right?
Yeah, I mean, I noticed this obviously was an issue and a desire for people back in 2019. That's what prompted me to start the podcast. But I wouldn't have that inkling alone, I never thought would have led me to running an entire company based off of that. So the demand has really, really increased over the past couple of years.
Yeah. What has been, okay, so we talked about the company with how dating has evolved with that, but for you as a person, how has dating for you evolved as you've been building this company to congregate people to meet one another, meet their soulmates, etc.? Like, what is your perspective? What has your perspectives on dating been? And how has that evolved over the years as you built this company?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I started this when I was 22, so things were a lot different. Like when I was 22, 23, 24, so much happened in between that time. COVID, I think a lot of people shifted around. A lot of people, like, they were in COVID relationships. Either those things lasted, they didn't. It was like such a weird dichotomy for like people to be dating in. So, personally for me, I think one, it's just a shift with age, when you're younger, the goal is to like meet as many people as possible for some people. Yeah. And then as you get older, your priorities shift and you want to meet like one person who will be important to you for a long time. And so I think that's just like an age thing. I think that happens for anyone over time. I do also strongly believe that apps have changed a lot, like algorithmically in the past couple of years. 6 years is a really long time to be working on something, whether it's a job or a company or whatever it might be. Like, if you told me I'd be doing this for 6 years plus, like, I'd be like, you're crazy. Obviously in that time frame, I have been in relationships, and like that, I definitely think like being single on either end of like, I had a kind of long relationship in the midst of all of that.
Yeah.
I could feel the difference, like, of how people were dating when I became single again, which was about 2 years ago. So I went from like, being kind of younger and in this like, I think dating apps were really working for a lot of people. It was kind of fun and exciting, maybe a little bit embarrassing that people were on them because they were still a little taboo. And then I like dated somebody, and then I became single. And I was like, oh my God, the apps don't feel like they did at all, like they did a couple of years ago when I was dating. They feel very transactional. They feel like you're constantly trying to be sold on like some premium feature. You feel like you need to
Hinge
be
Plus.
Like Hinge Plus, Hinge X, Bumble Premium. Like, I think back when this, like, they even had paid features introduced, it was like less than $10 a month. Hinge X is $60 a month. I'm sorry, who's paying $60 a month for anything? But a lot of people are. People don't even pay $60 a month for Netflix or cable or like.
Yeah. Or their career, like investing in a
Dude,
course. No one does that even.
some people's health insurance is cheaper than $60 a month. Their phone bills are cheaper than $60 a month. Like, what are you getting for $60 a month, honestly? But that's like what these apps are trying to push now. That's how they're making money. That's how they want people to like be retained on their platform. And I think people are really starting to feel it. I felt it. I think people are starting to feel it, that they don't want to feel like a product. They want to feel upsold. And because there's just this general malaise around being on dating apps now. It's not embarrassing. Like everybody's on them. Everybody has been on them. It's very rare to find somebody who's never been on a dating app at this point. But it's just like, I think if you talk to anyone, nobody's like, oh, yeah, I'm really loving Raya right now, you know?
Yeah. So. No, that's so real, actually. I resonate with that so much. Like, I am like recently out of like a long-term relationship and I'm using Hinge again. And it's like, I just stopped using it because it's just so frustrating to use. Whereas if you meet people in person, it's like what you said, like building feelings over time or just having that natural connection versus feeling like when you're on a dating app, that intention of like, we need to get together is so established and rooted that it sometimes takes away any room for you to actually form a real connection in the way that you would at like a drinks first event or just anything natural like a coffee shop, bookstore, etc., you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I think that's like definitely one of the things that I felt change over the past couple of years with like dating personally and like for other people as well.
Yeah, no, that honestly makes a lot of sense. Even just with the rise of like people wanting community in person, especially since COVID, where it's like everything is if your work is virtual, you're texting people, and like I feel like we all had a similar childhood of, or not child, but like teenagers of like always being on your phone, etc. And now it's kind of like no, like I want to meet people, I want to see people, and when it comes to dating and something that's so long term, or even if it's short term, you want to actually enjoy that versus it being like another Instagram DM or like Hinge DM kind of thing. So it's so real. And like going off that topic, so when you interview different people, even like anonymously, what has been some of like the number one craziest thing that experience that you've heard and you're like, oh shit, like this is gonna stick with me?
Oh my God, I've heard so many crazy things. Like, you just gotta listen to the podcast. I've heard so many crazy things. Like, people hooking up with their Uber drivers. Like, somebody got robbed in a foreign country and like some like woman saved him in this like robbery attempt. Like, he got shot and he was like bleeding out and he ended up hooking up with her.
Okay. Savior complex, we love.
Dude, I've heard such crazy things. But also just like very interesting things. Like, I've interviewed people who are poly, who are trans, like people who are living totally different experiences in lives, people who've been divorced at like very young ages. So it's been a super interesting, just like anthropological thing on my part to be able to talk to so many people and listen to their stories and hear what they've got going on. I mean, I've heard some really crazy things. Like, truly, if you guys are want to listen to some fun dating stories, like they are on the Drinks First podcast. But it's also very cool to hear about people's experiences that are like totally different from your own.
Yeah, and I bet that's also created a lot of learning on your end. Like, I know whenever I interview folks, I'm always just like, oh, like I didn't think about it this way, but now I'm gonna take that nugget into my own life. Has there been one thing just over, I guess this last year, for instance, that you've learned, you're like, oh, like this, I want to take this into how I go about dating experiences?
From the podcast specifically, I mean, I think it's less so like maybe because the podcast isn't necessarily like an advice podcast. It's more like we want to learn about your experience in your life and like and what you're looking for in a partner, and maybe hopefully we can find you someone that way.
Yeah.
So it's less so about asking people to give their advice, but connecting with people who come on the podcast. They all come from different walks of life. It's very interesting to talk to them and like helps me reframe things. Like, we've had people on who are comedians and influencers and like things like that, and so even hearing their perspective on where their careers are going, how they see the future of media shaping up, like those are all things that are very interesting to me because that's the world that I'm in. So I've made some really good connections through the podcast. I don't know in terms of like what I've learned in the past year that's like so different specifically from the podcast, but I definitely have had broader life lessons that I feel, or like just inklings and interesting tidbits that I've learned from our guests over the time.
Yeah. Do you want to share one?
Well, I'm just like thinking the most recent person we interviewed, he is like a comedian and he has a show that's pretty popular. Obviously I can't say who he is because it's anonymous. But he had me really thinking a lot about the format of our podcast and like potentially taking it into a live show format. And I thought like it's not something I was really seriously thinking about before, but just having his kind of thought process on all of it, I was like, oh, that's super interesting. So, you know, maybe it's something that we'll do in the future. That's like one example off the top of my head.
No, yeah, I got you. Sorry to put you on the spot like that. I was really interested in hearing that. And I feel like that relates to a lot of like my own experiences as well. When I talk to people, I'm like, I take a nugget of that. But when it comes to, you know, the events that you're having, has there been something that you learned about the events over time? Just like seeing people interact, seeing dating culture just in the last 2-ish years for you? Has there been something from that end, since that's more, you know, real life?
Yeah, I mean, I think with the events, so much has evolved over time, and I think that's what keeps us relevant.
Yeah.
What I think is interesting about the events is that we're really trying to meet people where they're at.
Yeah.
And so what we have the ability to do is like really curate any kind of experience that sounds interesting to us. So we've really in the last 2 years leaned into this like wellness programming. So we do these like spark sessions, that's what we call them. They're like our wellness series. And we've done stuff at Othership, like sauna and cold plunging. We've done these tennis events. Like we basically throw like tennis parties where anybody can come and like learn how to play tennis and meet other people who like to play tennis or who want to learn how to play tennis. And there's like open bar and music. And we've done like workout classes with like fitness influencers. And it's just been this totally new realm of events that I had no idea I would be getting into.
Yeah.
It's been so interesting because I see the shift of maybe it's us getting older, but people are very interested and invested in their health and their wellness. And, you know, I think there's some idea of, oh, it'd be cool to like meet someone at my gym or something like that. But that's so fucking weird. Like you don't approach somebody at a gym, right? So like we're creating these experiences that like center wellness, but then people can come and, you know, be in an environment where they know that they're there to meet new people and know that they're there to talk to people. And that is not at all a space I thought I would be in when I was, you know, started throwing nightlife parties.
Yeah, definitely really different.
Yeah, so that's definitely like, I can see that trending. And I think that's just a general trend across the board. Like people are becoming and people are more interested in investing in their health and well-being. And that's a place that, you know, people don't mind spending their money, but also would love to align in meeting somebody who thinks similarly to them. So it's been very cool to kind of see that realm of things take off and see how people have really been responding to it.
Yeah. Have there ever been people that get back to you, respond to your newsletter, and they're like, oh my God, Ariana, I met someone here and like I got into XYZ relationship. Like, how is that?
Oh my God. Yeah. People always ask me the success of Drinks First, and I'm like, it is so difficult for me to know because people need, like, we have 20,000 plus people who've come to our events. There's no way that I can like keep track of all of these people and what they're doing. Also, people's relationships are so private. So it's like, you know, the amount of people who've probably hooked up at our events are in like probably the dozens of thousands or dozens of hundreds. Who knows? I will have no idea though, unless somebody tells me. Like Valentine's Day this past year, somebody tagged Drinks First in their post, and it was like, 2 years ago, I met like the love of my life at Drinks First. I had never seen these people before in my life. Like, I guess the one event that they came to worked really well because they were fully dating. They like made this really cute video. And I was like, I have no idea who you are, but that is so cool. And I've just had like other people tell me, oh, like my person met their fiance at this event, or like, oh, I know this person getting married and they were like at your event, and like, or I know people who have met their best friends, people who've met their business partners, people who've met their roommates. Like,
Amazing.
It has really created so many connections. I wish I had a tangible number to like point to, but I don't.
No, that makes so much sense though. I mean, I feel like that's a KPI that's really hard to track.
Yeah, I really wish it was easier because everybody asks me about it, but I'm like, trust me, it works. It works.
Yeah, no, I actually love that because not only are you connecting people romantically, but also platonically when it comes to founding your own company, roommates, all things which compatibility is also so important for. And then, going back to like the wellness trend thing you mentioned, I feel like that's also so powerful because, I mean, just speaking from people I know, my friends, my peers, like when you go to a gym, like, of course, like there are people that are gonna have like-minded thoughts about wellness, etc. But like actually being able to go up to them is a different story. So I love that you created that space where people can do that. And I'm curious to hear, like, over time, like over just like the past 6 years that you've been connecting people in this way, whether it's hearing stories or through your events, etc. What is something that you could tell your younger self about dating from what you've observed so far that you like wish you knew?
I mean, like I said, the biggest thing is like communicate and be honest. If you are seeing somebody and you are confused by their actions, ask them. If you are confused about where you stand, if you are feeling upset about something that your partner's done, if you've gone on a date and you haven't heard back from that person and you're like, why haven't I heard back? Like, I always am in the camp that it's better to communicate. Like, you won't lose out. If you're like looking for answers, if it's genuinely like, hey, like, the thing that you did really upset me the other day and like I wanted to let you know, or hey, I haven't heard from you. Like, if it's not a match, it's not a match, that's all good, but like we're adults, like I'd rather you tell me than ghost me, like things like that. I think a lot of people have a hard time advocating for themselves and communicating their needs and their wants. If that happened, I think the world would be a much easier place to date in.
I love that. I completely agree too. I feel like there's no room for pettiness when it comes, or not just pettiness, but being able to advocate for yourself and like make signals. I think it's so much better to communicate. I've even done that recently myself, so I'm a big advocate for that as well. I love that.
Yeah, and I think it's like it extends beyond like romantic relationships. If it's friendships, if it's like business, I always think it's better to like slightly over communicate and be earnest in that. I do think there's a line, like don't cross like being like obsessive or anything like that, but yeah. I think it's better to talk about things than to let them fester or just let them go even. I think a lot of women specifically take it very like are very easy, try and be very easygoing or whatever about dating when they're treated badly. And we normalize that behavior when we like don't stand up for ourselves in those situations.
No, I agree. Like being the chill girl, right?
Yeah, I mean, being the chill girl or like not wanting to stir anything up or like not wanting to close the door on something. It's like, I think as you get older and like as you realize your worth a little bit more, you're just sort of like, okay, well, I don't have time for this. I don't want to put up with this. And why should I be? So like, might as well stand up for myself in this situation if there is something to like stand up for. If something's just not working out, it's not working out. Like, a friend of mine yesterday was supposed to go on a date, and like 2 hours before she like texted me 2 hours before her date, the guy texted her and he had been following up and doing all the right things and he made it a reservation and whatever. And she was like, he just canceled on me. But the text that he got was he sent her was like, hey, it was something like, hey, like, I'm just really not in the headspace to go on a date right now. I'm really sorry and I just don't want to waste your time. And like, that kind of sucks because maybe you like planned your evening around this or whatever. Yeah. But I'm kind of like, good on him for communicating that. Like, who knows what was going on with him? You can speculate anything, but it's sort of like, all right, like, better I know that than like go on a date and have like a connection or think I have a connection with someone, or you might have a connection with someone and like then find out later that it was a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of was like, oh, I respect that. Like,
no, I absolutely love that. Being honest, even if like the truth hurts in the moment for the other person, is so much more important than going into a situation with bad energy. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah, and I think there's like a nice way to say things, and I think that was a nice thing to say, like a nice enough way to say things. If he had said it otherwise, I think it could have been bad. But
yeah, just sending a dry text, not free anymore, bye.
Yeah, or like something, or like can't do tonight, like whatever, and just ignored. But yeah, so I, think moments like that I respect.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. So a lot of our audience on Brown Girl Unscripted cares a ton about the professional growth as well. And since we're nearing the end of the podcast episode, I wanted to ask you, if you could go back in time from when you first started Drinks First, what would you tell yourself when you were just starting out and building this media company?
You just have to do it. Like, it doesn't matter the tools, you can't wait until things are perfect. Like, I think part of why I jumped into building Drinks First was because I was 22 and because I had no idea what it would be and I had no lofty goals or ambitions for it. I knew nothing about podcasting. I was recording episodes on the Notes app and editing it in GarageBand for free. Like,
love that.
You use the tools that are available to you. Like, there's always, if you have an idea, get it out there. Like, there's always somebody who's probably doing something faster, better, stronger than you are, but like, your talent is yourself and your own drive and your own mind and your own ideas. And if you can't commit to yourself and the ability to see something through, like, you just gotta like try things, and if they fail, they fail. I've had plenty of failures in the past 6 years. It has not been all like dandy roses, easy path forward, but you keep reiterating and you keep trying, and hopefully one day something will stick.
Yeah, I love that. As a founder, I can relate to that very hard. Failures, and you just keep going and going. So thank you for that. I think a lot of you guys can benefit from that. And with that, thank you so much for coming on to Brown Girl Unscripted, Ariana. Really appreciated your time. And for you girlies, make sure you check out Drinks First. Go to one of their events, especially if you're in NYC. And as always, make sure you follow, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the podcast. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.
For having me.